Welcome to my series of random ways I remembered things throughout my training. Starting with everyone's favorite, remembering airway dimensions, which almost always come up as a multiple choice question on your written exams. I would constantly forget these until I gave them a little bit of personality. For example, you can see that the width of the VOR airway being 8 and the distance being 50.8 are quite even numbers, right? Whereas the VOR NDB, also same as just the NDB dimensions, are 8.68 and 49.66. Like, who came up with those numbers? So because the VOR airway width and distance are quite even, and we would much rather use a VOR over an NDB, I like to think of the VOR airway as the very cute and pretty airway because it's even. Whereas nobody wants to use an NDB, so I like to think of the NDB as the ugly airway because nobody wants to see those uneven dimensions. Now, I get that the splay in terms of degree, like the 4.5 for the VOR and the 5 degree for the NDB are different, but now that you've remembered that the VOR airway has a very pretty number 8 nautical mile width, you know that the 4.5 degrees would make more sense than a 5 degree splay because 8 nautical miles is going to be shorter. Basically, once you've remembered the width and the distance, the splay is so much easier to remember from there. This may not make any sense to some people, but I promise, once you give these airways a bit more personality, it's a lot easier to memorize these for your exams. If you stuck all the way through to the end, thanks for watching part 1 of Random Ways I Remember Things Throughout My Training.